Have you ever had one of those moments in your life when a bizarre coincidence occurs and it left you feeling entirely astonished? The odds of its occurrence could have been very low, or even next to impossible. Coincidence and synchronicity are both defined as striking occurrences of two or more events at one time. The difference is that coincidence is perceived as chance or luck, while synchronicity implies the presence of a deeper intelligence at work. It was Leonardo da Vinci that said, "Learn how to see. Realize that everything connects to everything else." Many people have an awareness of what the term synchronicity means in general terms, but in many cases this can be confused with unusual yet timely coincidences, accidents that seem as though they were by design. So, how do we know the difference? A growing number of people believe that to experience a synchronicity is like a powerful nod or wink from the universe, telling us that, yes, we're on the right track. Synchronicity is also believed to be a form of guidance from the higher self, a way of showing you where the path lies. Hindus believe synchronicity is a manifestation of Brahman, or the fundamental connection of all living things within the universe. The concept of synchronicity eliminates the accident from the nature of this apparently random phenomenon, and while synchronicities can manifest as something you might want to put in the coincidence box, there is just something about the event that makes you stop in your tracks and question. Something about the occurrence that leaves you utterly astonished and wondering, is this something more? As everything consists of tiny vibrating atoms, some believe that synchronicity could also be a manifestation of environmental harmony, where the frequencies and vibrations of the moment sync together in perfect equilibrium, producing such eerie experiences. The term synchronicity came into popular use through psychotherapist Carl Jung. He too often experienced what many would consider as meaningful coincidences in both his life and during sessions with clients. Jung's original version of synchronicity brought in and out the presence of recurrent images and ideas, archetypes, tying us to other dimensions where dreams come true, timely meetings change your life, omens accurately predict the future, and phenomenal signs are deeply significant to our personal experience. He also believed that synchronicities mirror deep psychological processes, carry messages the way that dreams do, and take on meaning and provide guidance to a degree, and they correspond to emotional states and inner experiences. Dr. Jung didn't define the principle of synchronicity because he was a mystic or a psychic, but because after years of working with patients and bearing witness to the events of his own life, it became clear to him that there appeared to be a mysterious underlying kind of field affecting a whole different level of experience. While many do recognize the phenomenon of synchronicity, there are many different ways of viewing it. The law of attraction theory states that good and bad events in life are caused by your thoughts and your feelings, what you are manifesting, and because like attracts like, synchronicity occurs. Others attribute the experience of synchronicity to psychic abilities, a manifestation of psychic abilities where we intuitively know that a certain person will call us or a significant event will befall us, and then it does. There could also be something of the unconscious mind at work here. We get warning messages in our dreams, so why can't we get them in waking life as well? Our unconscious mind influences a lot of our behavior, and at the same time can also communicate with us. Signs and omens, or instances of synchronicity, could be the unconscious mind's way of guiding us. Here are a small selection of examples of synchronicity that you may have experienced in your life. Seeing repeated numbers, especially master numbers 11, 22, 33, and so on. There will be a separate video that focuses on master numbers on this channel and their synchronistic value, so make sure you subscribe for more regular content. Another one is that you may have been randomly thinking about a person that you haven't thought about for a while or even seen for a while, and then later that day you bump into them, or they call or they text. You could simply think about something and then it happens, making you stop in your tracks in astonishment. Or you may overhear someone talking about an event or saying something about something which in fact sounds like answers to the questions that you've been asking yourself recently. You might dream about people, animals, or places and then see them repeatedly in real life. Help and support could appear in your life when you least expect it from people you have never met before. A big one is seeing repeated symbols, for example, white feathers or the infinity sign, butterflies, songs, master numbers as we have already mentioned, somebody's name, the tree of life, the list goes on. Can you think of any other common forms of synchronicity? Please share them in the comments and share your experiences if you can. Of course, the list of synchronicities is endless and subjective, as synchronicity is a more complex phenomenon. These are only a few general examples that we may all experience at certain points in our lives. The best way to recognize your synchronicities is to think less and feel more. Listen to your intuition. By being in tune with your inner voice, you can understand the outer signs easier. And remember, synchronicity only applies if it is spontaneous. Waiting for the 11:11 to appear on your clock does not count. You have to be genuinely surprised and not expect it. Or at least, there needs to be a degree of unpredictability involved. When you're having a dialogue with someone, you don't control the other person's words, reactions, or thoughts, and you generally listen when the other person speaks. It's the same with synchronicity and any other kind of guidance. Skeptics sometimes call synchronicity apophenia, or the practice of seeing connections and patterns in random and/or meaningless data. This is because humans are born meaning makers, with a fondness for seeking patterns in everything they see around them. This is an unconscious coping mechanism that we use to make sense of the world and sort through the overwhelming amount of data that is thrown at us every second of every day. We notice and analyze patterns everywhere in an effort to understand our environment and, to a small degree, control it. Behavioral economists would classify synchronicity as a form of confirmation bias. For example, if you're told to look for yellow cars, you'll start seeing yellow cars and realize there is a lot more yellow cars than you initially thought existed. But whatever causes it, an increasing amount of people do believe that synchronicity is far too common and too intriguing an experience to overlook or quickly dismiss and forget about. What follows are a few tips to help you tune into the flow of synchronicity and understand the sacred experience unfolding all around you. 1. Cultivate your capacity to receive. The universe always provides you with exactly what you need for your highest growth in the moment. If you aren't ready to receive, you won't. Cultivating a greater capacity to receive means having deep courage to face the infinite potentials and possibilities your life might present to you. It means invoking the truth of what you are actually capable of handling at this time in your life. and it requires you to embrace whatever life delivers to your doorstep with an open heart and absolute trust that it's exactly what is being called for at this time, even if you don't always understand. 2. Pay close attention. Simply pay more attention to your experience. If you're going to ask for guidance, you're going to need to meet the universe halfway, especially during your time of seeking. Watch your environment a little more closely. You may be surprised what presents itself when you pay more attention. 3. Notice patterns and symbols. As you pay closer attention to the occurrences in your life, you will likely notice patterns beginning to emerge or powerful symbols showing up. Take note of these. 4. Don't overcomplicate things. Sometimes the universe sends us the exact message that we need, but we miss it and go on searching for more. The truth is, the universe expresses a great deal of genius in simplicity. This can be difficult for modern humans to understand, as we tend to complicate things. The bottom line is, if the universe tells you to turn right, don't hinder yourself trying to figure out how and why and at what point to make the turn. Just do it. 5. Allow yourself to believe. One of the most common questions when working with signs, visions, dreams, or any other form of sacred messages: how do I know that this is real? Is this just coincidence? Is this just my imagination? The answer is simple. Your imagination and your reality are reflections of one another. Everything you are presented with, whether it's logically tangible or ridiculously abstract, has meaning. Sometimes it's overt and sometimes it's vague. The language of the universe is symbolic, and our intuition is the translator. When we allow ourselves to deeply feel and believe what is being presented to us, the signs become clearer and more compelling, and we further strengthen our ability to intuit them.